Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about how to solve a system of equations and how to solve a system of inequalities. Of course, the first thing we're going to talk about then is what is a system of equations or system of inequalities. And then we're going to talk about what the solutions to these systems are. And then we're going to actually solve these equations and inequalities. And we're going to use absolute value, quadratic functions, and we're going to do this in Desmos. Let's go ahead and get started. What you're looking at here are examples of systems of equations. And systems of equations are very simply two or more equations that are on the same graph. The first is two linear equations on the same graph. The next one is a linear and a quadratic equation on the same graph. And the last one is a quadratic and an absolute value equation on the same graph. Now the next thing we need to know is where are the solutions? The solutions to the system of equations are any x or y coordinates that satisfy both equations. And graphically, those are the points where the two graphs intersect. So basically, when we solve these, what we're going to do is we're going to graph them and then find out where they intersect. Here's what I want you to do. After I get done talking, I want you to pause the video and write these questions down. Keep in mind, there's two equations for each number. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then what I want you to do is go ahead and open up your computer to Desmos, and then we're going to take a look at them. Okay, so here's what it should look like if you enter both of these equations into Desmos. Pause this and actually do it in your own computer. And then hopefully you can click on the dot and you can find this point 2, 1 where they intersect. That's the solution to this system of equations. Okay, awesome. Hopefully you did that. Now pause it and put in question number 2. Okay, hopefully you did that. This is what mine looks like. I hope yours looks this way too. You keep in mind that what's awesome about Desmos is you don't have to make it y equals. You can just type it in however it's written. We've got the answers 1, 2, and 0, 1. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and then try number 3. And then start right back up again when you're ready. All right, here's what I got for number 3. We've got an absolute value. It's reflected over the x-axis, and then we've got a quadratic. The points are 0.382, 2854, and 2.618, negative 3.854. Why don't you go ahead and pause your video and then take a look at number 4, and then start back up again when you're ready. All right, our last system of equations is an absolute value, also reflected, and a circle. And so in this case, there are 3 points where the two graphs intersect, negative 4, 0, 0, 4, and 4, 0. Those are the answers to the system of equations. So now let's talk about what a system of inequality is. These are examples of systems of inequalities. They are two or more inequalities that are on the same graph. Here we've got two linear inequalities, a quadratic and linear inequality, and the last one's an absolute value and a linear inequality. In an inequality, it's going to have a shaded area, and our solution is going to be where the two shades intersect or where they're overlap. So in this first one, you can see that the shaded area right along this space right here, this darker purple, I'm going to color it in with the red marker. To a system of inequalities is where the two shades overlap. So looking at the middle one here, tougher to see because there's only one color going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in some lines. And if you're doing this by hand, I'd recommend this technique. What I'm going to do is, in this line, it's everything less than this line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw vertical lines going down away from the line. So this one inequality is clearly less than some line. It'll be y is less than something. And I'm going to go all the way across here and put these lines. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the quadratic, the parabola, and I'm going to put horizontal lines. And again, it appears like it's less than this. The thing is, in this particular picture, they didn't show all of the shaded area. They've only shown the shaded area that's overlapped. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you all of it. And in this case, then the area, the solution, is going to be where there are both purple and red lines. In this last one, it's a lot easier to see because you can see the blue shaded area. This is an absolute value and it's greater than. So then the area is shaded blue above the absolute value. And then the line is shaded pink below it. So it's going to be less than. And you can see, since you see both shades, you can see where the shades overlap here. Anyway, I think it'll make a lot more sense when you go ahead and do some of these on your own. So let's go ahead and look at some examples. I want you to go ahead and write these down and then go ahead and open up Desmos and then we'll take a look at these. So pause this and then start back up again when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you did that. And so we're looking at Desmos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start typing in here the first inequality. And it's going to be y, and you can use your keyboard for less than x plus 2. Okay, so you'll notice how it's got a dotted line. That means it's less than and not equal to. You notice how it's shaded below the line. That's why it's less than. All right, now if I would have made it equal, it just would have been a line. But with an inequality, it's going to have a shaded area like this. Also notice if I put an equal sign right after the less than sign, it becomes a solid line in the graph. And then if I go back and delete it, it becomes a dotted line. So now let's go ahead and put the second part on there. That's going to be y is greater than x squared. So that's going to be a parabola. And let's get our square here. Come on. Okay, so keep in mind, if this had been an equation, what we'd be looking at is a parabola, and it's going to be greater than this. So then what's going to happen is it's going to be shaded above the graph. So now all we're going to do is find our solution, and it's going to be this area right here. It's the area that's shaded both of them. It's the darker shaded area. And that's all there really is to it. So once you go ahead and try number 2, pause it, and then start back up again when you're ready. All right, awesome. Hopefully you did that, and hopefully your graph looks like this. All I did is typed it in exactly the way it's written down. You notice that the top parabola's got a dotted line, the bottom one's got a solid line, and then our solution is this dark area that's in the middle. Okay, why don't you go ahead and try number 3, and then start back up again when you're ready. Okay, awesome. Hopefully you did that, and hopefully your graph looks something like this. You'll notice how I've got both a absolute value function and a reflected quadratic, and they're greater than both of them. So the solution is this dark area at the top. That's where both shades are. All right, why don't you go ahead and pause this and try number 4, and then start back up again when you're ready. All right, so thank you for doing that, and hopefully you've got a circle with shaded on the inside and then an absolute value that's open upward. And then our solution is this area in the middle where they both overlap. Okay, that's all I got for you today. I really appreciate your attention, and I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.